Hello everyone and welcome. We have 10 hidden details and announcements that you may have missed from the newest Tears of the Kingdom trailer, the various posters released, and even Nintendo's own official statements. Let's get straight into this. 1. A second world, or realm. Starting off, we have what seems to be a big slip-up from Nintendo. When Nintendo revealed the trailer, release date, and official title for Tears of the Kingdom, they also had an official description ready to release with it, and it seems like it revealed more details and information, or spoiled a big part of the game, which Nintendo didn't want to reveal just yet. Such as the Sacred Realm, Twilight Realm, or possibly even an entirely new realm of some kind, because it seems like within the same day, Nintendo quickly began replacing the first description with a second one. But one important thing is now missing. This original description wasn't just replaced in one or two places, but almost everywhere. Even GameStop and other retailers have seemed to replace the original description. If you visit almost any website right now, the description will read, "In addition to the vast lands of Hyrule, the latest entry in the storied Legend of Zelda series will take you up into the skies. Look forward to Link's massive adventure starting again when The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, drops for Nintendo Switch on May 12th, 2023. However, it originally stated, in addition to the vast lands of Hyrule, the latest entry in the storied Legend of Zelda series will take you up into the skies, and an expanded world that goes beyond that. Look forward to Link's massive adventure starting again." Luckily, I had a screenshot of the original description that I took while I was working on a different video. If I didn't, I would have thought I was going crazy and just imagined all of this, because I was fixated on that one line. Why mention the lands of Hyrule, the skies above Hyrule, and expanding beyond that? What is beyond the sky? And why was it so important Nintendo rushed to remove it? If it wasn't that big of a deal, if it wasn't hinting towards anything, why not just leave it in? After all, it is vague enough that it could just mean almost anything. But the fact that they did choose to remove it, and so quickly, makes me think that perhaps my theory on these Torii gates being used as portals to a place like the Sacred Realm, or temples, may end up being correct. Which realm or world do you think we will visit as this game's second world? The Twilight Realm, Sacred Realm, Dark World, Lorule, an entirely new place? Here's a quick bonus. One of our amazing viewers, and probably my new best friend, has actually deciphered a lot of these Zonai texts and markings. And from what I've seen, it's really interesting. I'll have a video explaining all of it coming later today or tomorrow, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. 2. Rebuild or enhance our favorite weapons, items, or shields. A lot of people have been pointing this out and stating it shows our shield or weapons will show the wear and tear as it is damaged, and will be able to repair them, which is thought to explain this dark mark on Link's shield. Then, they point towards the same shield later on in the trailer without the repaired mark. I know a lot of people have been asking for a blacksmith, craftsman, or a repair shop of some kind, so we can preserve, rebuild, or enhance our favorite weapons, items, or shields. And yes, this would be an amazing new gameplay mechanic. I would even be happy for a potion or something that simply enhances your shield or weapon's durability for a while. With that said, and while the game may actually have a new feature like this, I don't want to be the one who ruins someone's expectations, but this isn't a sign of the shield being repaired. Sadly, it's just Link's dark hood clipping through the shield, which in a weird way is actually great news, as it connects to something else coming up. 3. Midna, or the Twilight. This goes along with the second world or second realm we spoke of at the beginning of our list. I actually want to make a video going even more in depth on this one, so please comment below if you would like to see that video. A lot of people are making more and more connections between these Zonai symbols and the Twilight, and I'll include some of my own that I've found. Obviously, we have the strong use of symbols using the shape of an eye, just as with the Sheikah. The same artistic designs and patterns with the green glow. This design, known as the Zonai swirl, being everywhere in the Twilight Realm. The extended square spiral sticking out in the artwork, and in the Twilight Realm. The use of magic, both races living in the sky on floating islands, both being races or tribes from long ago who suddenly vanished. If the Zonai are related to the barbarian tribe, the skull helmet matches perfect with masks from Midna, especially a lot of the concept art, as well as the red hair and markings all over the skin. We also have Midna having her mask or headband and the rest of her jewelry. The area close to where the Zonai were located has a dark mirror that shares similarities with the mirror of Twilight, and it's sort of damaged in the same way. The large focus on snakes or dragons that we see everywhere, specifically 2 that are facing each other. We also have 𝗷𝗵𝗲 himself stating Breath of the Wild should remind us a lot of Twilight Princess. Again, we have much more, but you can watch all of that in an upcoming video that will be uploaded in a couple of days. So please, subscribe so you don't miss it. And if we use any of your theories or possible connections between the Zonai and the Twilight, I'll be sure to give you a shout out and credit you on screen during the video with a screenshot of your comment. 4. Using the patents. As mentioned earlier with the clipping and the shield confusion, you may be asking, why would the trailer have clipping be a good thing? That's because it means as great as Tears of the Kingdom looks currently, we have evidence that strongly supports the game will end up looking even better. Shortly before this new trailer released, a few of the different people in charge of the game filed a new patent under Nintendo. I have this video here of some of the new features we can expect in the game that goes more in depth on it and the other patents, but to make it as simple as possible. It is a newly developed program from the developers that can work with the engine to make sure items or clothing does not clip through each other like this. To further support this, we see the trailer begin by saying, "Game footage not final," which honestly is already expected for any game that is still in beta or active development. With the patent coming out not that long ago and the game being delayed outside of 2022, I feel this gives Nintendo plenty of time to include this into the game. Honestly, it's such a small thing in the grand scheme of everything. I don't think this will ruin anyone's experience with the game, whether it's there or not. Only cause minor confusion for people zoomed in on a screenshot, like me. If this is something Nintendo does end up including, it makes me wonder what other visual or graphical improvements they can make. 5. Graphic enhancements. Lately, more and more we see Nintendo using various different methods or programs to improve resolution and frame rate, even filing their own patent for a brand new version they created themselves that would presumably work even better for their hardware and games than the other methods they have been using. Nintendo is already using AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution with Splatoon 3, Switch Sports, and possibly other games we haven't discovered yet. With Xenoblade 3, Monolith Soft used their own unique method that tremendously improved the graphics and frame rate over the previous Xenoblade 2. Monolith Soft also worked on Splatoon 3, giving even more experience with using various upscaling technologies, with them also co-developing Tears of the Kingdom, and Nintendo themselves developing and patenting their own new upscaling technology specifically for the Switch. I can only imagine Nintendo and Monolith Soft will be using some form of this technology to improve the resolution and frame rate of the sequel to the most successful Zelda game of all time. And before someone types Nintendo or Miyamoto doesn't care about graphics or whatever, that actually couldn't be further from the truth. They have many interviews where they are bragging about how great a certain game looks or the power of their consoles, which in this case, with Reggie bragging about the Wii U being the most powerful video game console on the market at the time, it's just hilarious. 6. Caves and tunnels opening up, or Hyrule changing. This is more of what to expect next. We have yet to see any tunnels or caves that have opened up, despite seeing a lot of gameplay from what looks like caves. We have this single opening from a scene where Link is using his rewind ability, and this entrance to what we believe is the cave we come to find Ganondorf in. However, Nintendo has yet to let us see or hinted at possible locations we can find these caves, and we have the many ways we should expect Hyrule to be different, such as no Sheikah towers, changing landscapes, and who knows what all changes these earthquakes could make. Here's a quick bonus. The title. This is a quick one. While people have made a good point that tears or tears can both work for the title, with the way it's spelled having a double meaning, we were messaged the day of the announcement and told that it was in fact tears and not tears. A friend had looked at the name in other languages, and the words used for the title in those languages would translate to tear, not tear, making the misunderstanding only a problem for fans who only read or speak English, like me. A few days later, Nintendo came out and made the official announcement confirming this. 7. The Zonai Ouroboros. This was a great detail sent to me on Instagram. It's very simple, but shows Nintendo's attention to detail. The shield Link has in Breath of the Wild's artwork and original footage is of these snakes or dragons looking away from each other, and a circular symbol between them. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom uses the exact opposite, having them looking at each other or swallowing each other's tails. 8. The Wind Tribe. I have a video going a lot more in depth on this. You can find it here. This idea originally comes from Daniel, one of the co-hosts for our Zelda podcast, the Hylian Gamescast. Some of the games, and Hyrule Historia tells us, the Wind Tribe are an ancient magic race that used to live on the land. After mastering the wind, they moved their palace up into the sky. They live even higher than the clouds, and the winds carry news of everything to them. The land they left behind became known as the Wind Ruins. They can ride the wind and travel back and forth between the sky and the land. A lot of people believe these ancient ruins, seen here, are these same wind ruins. It could be that one of the tribes or races we see in the sky is actually this very race. And it won't just be the Zonai. 9. The Malice. This is another simple one. We've seen in the previous trailers that Malice is just flooding out of Ganondorf. Despite us seeing it is a lot, we still don't realize the extent of it until the newest trailer, where it looks to not only be flooding the caves, but so much so that it is gushing out of Death Mountain and below Hyrule Castle. How do you believe we will be able to get rid of some of this malice in order to further explore the caves? 10. The Master Sword. Another callback to the Twilight. The official logo for Tears of the Wild shows more of these Zonai or Twilight designs, which is completing the broken half of the Master Sword. While it does show some square or jaggedness to the blade, instead of the straight design we usually see, I don't think this necessarily means the sword will be shaped differently. While it does show some square or jaggedness to the blade, instead of the straight design we are used to. However, I don't think this necessarily means the sword will be shaped differently. I think this is just an artistic design and is stylized, like the rest of the carvings we see. We have powered up the Master Sword in the past. The Golden Sword is a favorite of a lot of people from A Link Between Worlds or A Link to the Past. We originally had to power up the Goddess Sword to make the Master Sword using the sacred flames from the goddesses. We even powered the Master Sword up in the Twilight Realm using the Soul, which makes it shine a similar golden glow to what we see in this scene. Perhaps powering it up with this glow allows us to more easily cut through or get rid of the malice, just as it lets us remove the darkness in the Palace of Twilight. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and please, if you made it this far, consider subscribing and commenting below. It really does help us out. Hello everyone, I just want to say thank you for watching the video all the way through. Some of you have been asking, and yes, we still have shirts and other merch available at teespring.com. You can find a link in the description below. If you purchase one and send us a picture wearing it, we will give you a shout out and include your picture during one of our upcoming videos. Thank you to our amazing Patreon supporters, starting off with our royal family, Shadow to Us. On our champion tier, Justin Clark, Monica Spath, SoberX. In the Sheikah tier, Andramoy, Joseph, Natsu, Wrecker1, Rusty Caulfield, Tremel. And in the Kukiri tier, Gene Pinna, Chad Costin, David Guthman, Candy, Disappointment, Gus Calvo, Zane, Lean, Lovable Christie, Mr. Monocled Metroid, and whoever this is only donated to hear Jesse speak my name. Thank you all so much. If any of you would like your name to be featured at the end of any of our videos, or to get a shout out at the beginning of our Zelda podcast, the Hylian Gamescast, and to have any of your topics or questions answered or turned into a full video to be featured here on our channel, along with many other things, please join our Patreon and help support the channel. Thank you all so much. Happy Halloween.